Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm kind of curious about this video because it's about the FPS mistakes that practice won't fix. And so I'm curious because it's talking about movement and some other things. So I'm curious if we'll learn anything new since I haven't really ever had a problem with aiming or like getting kills. Obviously, like that's not the main objective of the game. The main objective is to, get on the payload and to get on the objective. Depends. They're both objectives either way at the end of the day. So I'm just curious what he has to say. So let's get right into it.
Your movement doesn't matter. At least, not in the way you think it does. In fact, if you want to escape the depths of the so-called ELO hell and reach the high ranks of your favorite game, you need to forget everything you think you know about movement.
Okay,
a few months ago, I was in this phase where playing my favorite games felt exhausting. Every session, I would dart around trying to be the hardest possible target, only to get preyed upon when my enemy lined up a decent shot or activated a stun. It absorbed so much energy and left me so
what is this
frustrated
cam he has
that
going
I
on?
questioned if competitive games were still for me.
Bro
Many
is
of you
locked in.
can relate to the feeling that you're putting in far more effort than most of those at your rank, but you have nothing to show for it. Your rank progress is slow, if you have any. You get burned out fast, and you put in 150% of your energy to get what seems like the same result. When my actions per minute were higher than my...
Wait. Did you see that? He went from locked in to normal right here. See?
hardest possible target, only to get preyed upon
that's a little
when
too,
my
that's a little
enemy
too
lined up
early.
a decent shot or active 50%
See,
of your energy to get what seems like...
See, that's his normal cam. Do you see how locked in he was? Bro was arched forward like... Like, dude was locked in. Bro was ready to kill any op that approached him.
Same result. When my actions per minute were higher than my opponent, but I was still failing, it's one of the worst feelings I've ever felt. But now, I found the solution that refocuses my energy and lets me improve and climb the ranks with ease. You see, not long ago, I was a movement player. The first game I put a lot of time into and got a high rank in was Splitgate. If the game's slogan, Halo meets Portal, didn't clue you in, this game is Movement City. If Hideo Kojima tried watching a decent Splitgate player, he would keel over and cough up his entire digestive system. When I started playing Splitgate, I was new to PC gaming and inexperienced on keyboard and mouse. So...
Bro, I didn't know it was Portal. I thought it was just Doctor Strange portals from Marvel Rivals. Obviously, come on, it came out way before Splitgate.
To make up for my atrocious aim and terrible game sense, I put all my energy into movement. I was able to get away with this because below Diamond or Master rank, no one ever anticipated that I would portal right behind them. Even as I learned higher level concepts for playing the game at a higher skill level, I half-assed my implementation of them because my mindset was still, gotta go fast. My brain was like a hyperactive chihuahua barking at every person that walks by its house.
Real life.
Like every cool movement trick I could do was calling to me from inside my head. Then one of my mentors, a former Splitgate pro, gave me this advice. Every portal is a stop sign. We'll come back to this, but what it meant was that every time I'm in front of a portal, I needed to stop and ask myself whether it was a better play to go through or stay behind it. This sparked a realization for me. I knew that sometimes looking or shooting through portals was better than running through them, but this finally made me internalize this principle. Positioning, one of the most fundamental skills, is not about how you should move. It's about where you should be. I realized that movement is a sub-skill of positioning. In other words, your movement should serve your positioning. And I know you might be thinking, but isn't a moving target harder to hit? Yes, but a moving target is hard to hit because its position is changing. Every split second, let's say every server tick, there is an optimal position for you to be in, but it's always changing, moving at the speed of your character's run, strafe, or other movement abilities. You can even simplify this principle into a math equation. Positioning greater than sign movement. You could say it out loud as positioning over movement. By using this principle, I've been able to get recognition from the absolute best players Splitgate. They say I'm looking like I could soon
always the
reach
most important.
tier 2 with a little bit more consistency. I expect this mindset shift to grant me that consistency soon. I've also had a lot more stamina to practice for longer, and I've ranked up 2 divisions in Overwatch while maining Tracer in only a few days. Now I'm going to explain how you can turn this principle into improvement. I've done this only partially myself so far, and I've already seen results. I plan to reach even higher heights.
Bro, is anyone else getting like those ads where it's like the scam course of the guy how to make millions in just 1 year, and then he just tells you, and then right now we won't even finish the video. Right before he finishes saying what he's gonna say, it's gonna be like, now go on my Patreon and give me 30-50 bucks.
Finishing this process. The first step is what I call shock therapy, because it's about learning by doing the opposite of what you're doing now. Play some unranked or some games against bots, and unless you're in danger, get to a strong position and stand still while taking fights. This doesn't only mean stand still while shooting, which in some games you already do a lot, but instead, if you see a target, don't allow yourself to move until they are looking at you, because that's when you're in danger, not before that. This process will help you realize that you don't always need to be a moving target. The next step is learning your stoplights. Remember how I mentioned that advice I got, every portal is a stop sign? Well, what if we took the portal out of that sentence? For whatever game or character or play style you play, what fills in that blank? But to have complete control over our movement and our aggression, we need more than stop signs. We need intersections with stop lights. Now, it becomes every blank is an intersection, where we have to recognize whether the light is green or red. Think about a real-life 4-way intersection with stoplights. If you try to go through during a red light, oftentimes you'll run into someone or get run into. But if you go during a green light, it's super easy to make it through because there are no obstacles. I want you to figure out what the intersections are for you, as well as your green lights and red lights. The intersection could be an enemy backline, a choke point, a corner, or something else. You might have heard of the concept of green lights before.
Basically, how I understand it is anytime you're about to take a risk, take a second, think it out real quick, like be like, is it worth it or should I just stay back? Because I feel like a lot of people just jump into that risk. Like I see this all the time when I played Valorant. It obviously happens in Marvel Rivals too, but more Valorant, where people would just run to the enemy instead of defending because they thought, oh, it's just one guy left, we can just end it and it's worth the risk to them. And then guess what? Now the whole team dies, or almost the whole team dies, and it's like, oh, well, it shouldn't have been that close. And it's like, there's just times where it's like, just sit back and be patient. You know what I mean?
Such as a teammate's flashbang or recon ability,
yeah,
or a low health enemy support in the back line. But to curb your bad habits, you also need red lights. This could be something like an enemy smoke or a tripwire. Or
basically, I think what he's saying is you just need to know your limits. Like you need to limit yourself and be like, okay, I can do, like you need to basically go into quick play or practice or whatever. Probably quick play in my opinion. In Marvel Rivals, that's kind of hard right now because there's a lot of bots, but you know, point is you gotta like see how far you can go and how aggressive you can be without completely getting decimated. But you kind of have to like, the problem is with that, you kind of have to like lower that a little bit and be like, okay, well obviously like in ranked and like high elo, they're gonna know about this, so I'm gonna lower it. I guess like the best way I could think of it is you just have to adjust. So like for example, maybe it is better just to do that in ranked, and then like as you go, like maybe be flexible. Like you go into a match, you know, this works this time, but then it doesn't work the next time, so then you don't do it that match and you do other things, like, you know, have your backup plays, I guess. Like that's all I can think of really, because that's kind of hard, because like obviously as you rank up, things that worked before aren't gonna work depending on what you're doing.
A stun character, ready to peel for his teammates if you dive them. Whatever your game or playstyle is, figure out your intersections, red lights, and green lights and write them down. Once you're done, you're ready to return to ranked and practice identifying these red and green lights.
But let's be real, no one's writing them down.
But I'll leave you with one more word of advice. Learn to enjoy both green and red lights. It's easy to see green lights as this spotlight cast upon you where you have to perform or everything's gonna fall apart. It's also easy to see red lights as this barbed wire fence that will burn or electrocute you if you get too close. Neither of these are the right mindset. Think of both green and red lights as enjoyable. Red lights can be relaxing because you don't have to put full effort into your mechanics. When you're at a red light, your focus should be watching for the light to turn green. When you're at a green light, all you have to do is go aggressive. The green lights you've defined are when your obstacles to a successful play are minimal. And even if you take a green light and mess it up, maybe you whiff or the enemy uses some genius anti-strat, that's one less time you'll mess it up in the future. If you wait at red lights with patience, you'll save your energy and stay alive longer. If you take green lights with confidence, you'll succeed most of the time and learn something every time. If you put it all together, you'll be able to improve faster, practice longer, and stop wasting energy. Whether as a hobby or career, I encourage you all to keep chasing your ambitions. If you enjoyed or found this video helpful, consider hitting like, subscribe for future videos like this.
This is why I like video games, because you can use pretty much any, like most things, or at least most concepts you learn in video games in real life. Because, like, obviously you have green and red lights in real life, and no, I'm not talking about the freaking lights, when the traffic lights. I'm talking about, like, you know, things are going to happen in your life where you have to make that decision if you're going to, you know, do this or that. You know what I'm saying? And if the risk is actually worth it. And obviously sometimes it's better to be ambitious and aggressive, and other times you have to check yourself. Yeah, check that ego, check that ambition, and be like, hey, this is not going to be a good idea. I'm going to get floored or whatever, you know, depending what kind of situation you're in. But yeah, I really like this video. I thought it was going to be more Marvel Rivals based because of the thumbnail. Kind of got you know, trolled, but that's okay. I think it still applies to a lot of games. But yeah, subscribe to Warp Sonic, like his video in the link below, down in the description. Remember to comment below what you guys think about these. Did this help you guys at all? Did you guys already know this? Did this, like, you know, maybe you kind of had an idea of it, but this kind of helped you more like conceptualize it? But yeah, just tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Anyways, like and subscribe to me, your boy. See you guys next one. Peace.